Hello all, and a very warm welcome to the webinar by Jade Global and our client EssilorLuxxotica. My name is Payal Mathur, Director of Marketing at Jade Global, and I will be your moderator today. Today's topic is how Hyperion on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure resulted in 20% cost savings for EssilorLuxxotica. All attendee phone lines are on mute. If you have any questions, please add them to the question box and click send, and we'll be taking the questions at the end of the session. I would like to introduce our speakers now. Babu Kanaparthi, Senior Architect, Business Intelligence at EssilorLuxxotica. Babu has been in IT for about 2 decades now, with 14 years experience in business intelligence. He has experience working with large enterprises such as Zensor, Tech Mahindra, and now EssilorLuxxotica. Welcome, Babu. Our second speaker is Sriram Sharma, Associate Director for Enterprise Cloud Oracle Applications at Jade Global. Sriram started his career about 13 years back. He has been with Jade on and off for about 5 years now and has been an integral part of Jade's growth. Sriram has experience working with some large organizations such as Deloitte. Welcome, Sriram.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay, so our agenda for today, we'll be starting with the introductions about the companies, followed by EssilorLuxxotica's migration challenges and needs, the solution they adopted, their journey with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, and finally the business benefits they achieved during this transition. At the end, as I said, we'll be taking the Q&A session. So without further ado, I will pass on the mic to Sriram to get this webinar started.
Thanks, Payal. A very warm welcome to everyone. So first, let's talk about Jade. So Jade Global is an IT service provider. We provide ERP, CRM, data analytics, Salesforce, GCP, integration, ADM, QA, ITCM, and managed services, in addition to Oracle EPC services. In 2003, our business was established with the goal of giving mid and upper mid-market client access to premium capabilities. Our primary strategy for reaching customers is to collaborate with the top independent software vendors, such as or service providers, I would say, such as Google, Oracle, Microsoft, Salesforce, and other, to develop scalable solution. We employ roughly nearly around 2,000 people with our headquarters in San Jose, California. We also operate in Singapore, UK, Austria, Canada, and India.
Hey, this is Babu Kanaparthi from EssilorLuxxotica. I am the senior architect here. Let me talk a few points about EssilorLuxxotica. So the company is in the lens technology and eyewear manufacturing business, headquartered in Europe. Essilor is basically located in France, Paris, and Luxxotica in Italy, Milan. So Essilor is leading in the lens business, whereas Luxxotica is in the frames business. They both merged 3 years back, and now it is called one company, EssilorLuxxotica. So our production services are in a wide range from ophthalmic lenses, prescription lenses, frames or sunglasses, and the reading glasses. So also EssilorLuxxotica has long history of designing the equipments and solutions used by opticians, optometrists, and ophthalmologists around the world. So our manufacturing labs are located wide across the globe in North America, Europe, Asia, Mexico, and so on. So our brands include some of the most prestigious names in fashion and luxury, and there are about 20 premium brands in the industry, such as Ray-Ban, Oakley, Versace on the frames, and the Kreisel, Experio Transitions on the lens, and Foster Grant on the reading glasses side. So in USA, you can find most of these brands in the retail stores such as Target, Costco, Sam's Club, Walmart, and also on few of the e-commerce websites. So that is more of the business front, what the company is all about. And on the back office side, we are a huge Oracle shop, leveraging their solutions, starting from database, transactional systems such as ERP, business intelligence systems like OBI and Hyperion. That's all about the company and how we are leveraging the solutions. Over to you, Sriram.
Thanks, Babu. So, what are the typical OCI migration challenges which a customer face, or what are the typical OCI haunts that haunts a customer, right? So, being in October with your Halloween coming up, so that's why I wanted to utilize that. So, if you see, right, when you move to OCI platform, so first and the foremost question that comes in the mind is how do I develop or migrate Hyperion, right? On OCI platform or on the OCI cloud platform, what we call it. Is that platform really secured? Will my entire data related to my budget forecast as well as 10K, 10Q will be kind of secured over there? Do they have hybrid or DR available? What happens if the cloud goes down? How I will be able to access my data? What are the issues that I will be facing? I have achieved best in the world performance on my on-prem environment. If I move to cloud on OCI, what is the challenge that I will be facing over there? As well as how do you manage cost related to multiple environments on OCI? How much Oracle will be charging? And so there are some typical challenges or questions which comes to mind when you think when you want to migrate to OCI platforms.
Yeah, the most of the critical challenges are the applications being available 24/7. So these are the most critical challenges usually if you're at an on-prem location. So on the cloud instance, you don't need to worry about the application being down. So it's always available. So these are the critical challenges, right?
Yes, that's correct. So moving down the line, what is the need for OCI migration? When you do OCI migration, what is the advantage that you get, as well as what are the steps that you need to keep in mind when you perform this migration? So the advantage that you get is, first of all, it's easy to migrate. It's built native to cloud. The infrastructure behind the scene, what Oracle utilizes is Exalytics and Exadata, which is more on kind of inline platforms specifically developed for Hyperion applications. It supports your hybrid cloud strategy. It's a multi-cloud development, having built-in security, compliance, your SOC 1, 2, 3, all the compliance are followed on it, as well as have an interconnectability with your Azure platforms. If you look from the configure, validate, and test perspective, what you have to do is whatever the existing data load rules that you have, either it goes to your planning or space utilizing any kind of ETL tools such as FDM or ODI, you need to make sure all these data load rules are updated with the proper server names and all, as well as all your business rules, calculations, rule files, all that you have, if they are utilizing any kind of details related to server, that needs to be updated out. Your report, smart list, all your integration job, everything needs to be updated. ODI connection, as well as you need to have a benchmark of your performance settings, as well as the performance of various rules and automation jobs on your on-prem as well as on the cloud environment.
So let me talk a few of the key objectives that at EssilorLuxxotica we followed for a smooth migration. First and foremost, we would like to have a smooth migration and zero impact to the business. So we're a huge data volume processing from the back office side, ERP or the BI or the EPM applications. So the transactions volume is high on a nightly basis. We process millions of data on a nightly basis. And when it comes to the Hyperion, these are summarized data. So the size is at the 200 GB around, whereas on the transactional system, the database size is pretty much huge. So we would like to make sure our source systems are not impacted with the migration effort, and as well as the target systems such as EPM applications. On the EPM applications, the few of the key objectives that we would like to achieve is zero impact, as I said, and we would like to make sure our on-prem lower and higher environments are migrated to the OCI infrastructure. So with that, all the existing data extraction process needs to be thoroughly tested. Right now, we pull the data on a nightly basis when you take the Hyperion application, as well as on the hourly basis. On the nightly basis, the data loads run pretty fast, like because there is no heavy overload on the system. But on the daily basis, I mean on the hourly basis, we have a hard SLAs, meaning within 10 minutes the data extraction process needs to be complete. I would say 6 to 7 minutes. Each and every integration touch point needs to be thoroughly tested. That's what Sriram's team helped us to put together, and make sure all the end-to-end process validation from the reporting aspect and the data load have been thoroughly tested. So these are the key objectives that we had, and apart from these, the key thing is the performance monitoring. Most of the EPM users use Excel add-in as the reporting front-end reporting tool. So they would like to get the data rendered within like 10 minutes. That's the hard SLA we have. Few of the reports need to be rendered within few minutes, like 5 to 6 minutes. So staying at optimal performance is really a key thing on the cloud instance as well. So these are the key objectives that we had outlined.
Thanks, Babu. So it was a fantastic opportunity for me and Jade Global to work with Babu and EssilorLuxxotica Team on his crucial endeavor. These were well-considered goals, and many of our clients shared them for platform modernization project. So while I think this is the time we can go for our first poll.
Surely, Shriram. So I will launch our first poll now. The poll is platform consideration when migrating from in-house on-prem Hyperion system. Please select whatever are the applicable option to you. I'm launching it now. You can see it, and we'll keep it open for 30 seconds. I will request all the attendees to please take the poll and enter your applicable options. I'm seeing some of the results are coming in. I will request everybody to please take the poll. We'll be closing it in next few seconds. Okay, so I'm closing the poll now and sharing the results.
So looking at this result, this was pretty much expected from the audience, where basically depending on what kind of on-prem environment you have, as well as what applications you have, if you are just hosting airspace planning, then Oracle EPM Cloud might be the route to go. But if you have bunch of applications from the EPM side and huge volume of data, like what Essilor had, then Oracle Cloud Infrastructure might be the way to go, where you can still be on-premise environment on the latest version, which is 11.2, allowing you to have the same design and applications instead of moving to the cloud. On-premise is still a route to go in-house, but that will increase basically the cost as well as maintenance side of it. The people who have not decided, 8%, I would say, they think about it and either distribute between infrastructure cloud or EPM cloud, depending on what exactly their need. So, Babu, any comments on this one?
Yeah, sure, Sriram. If you take an example of our company itself, we started discussing moving on to the cloud back in 2017 and 18. But it took a while for us. It could be due to COVID pandemic reasons or the company-wise initiatives that are staying behind. So if you look at our company itself, we started the discussion, as I said, but within like 2 to 3 years, we was in touch with Oracle guys, getting the right infrastructure in place, because our volume is not small volume. As I said earlier, we process millions of transactions on a nightly basis. So having the right infrastructure is the key important thing, which is what Oracle cloud infrastructure is offering at the moment. With that being said, ours is hybrid environment. It's not pure cloud, but it's hybrid environment because of the size that we have at on-prem.
Thank you, Babu and Shriram, for your inputs. I'll be hiding the poll results now and we'll continue with the presentation.
So let's look at the solution, what we implemented or what we took for Essilor to achieve the required results. So initially we started with more on kind of a due diligence of the system. So where basically as this implementation of Hyperion was done way long back and Essilor didn't have proper documentation, or I would say data flow diagrams noting down how the data and everything have been set up. So we had to basically do a due diligence on the system to understand basically how, what are the data integration points, which systems are connected, what are the nightly jobs which executes and all. Then we kind of did a design for the system where we went through what will be the scripts which will be impacted, what are the application points, taking out all the performance benchmarks for the application. Then started with the dev migration. Once the migration was complete, then we started doing basically all the updates to the scripts as well as rerunning the information to note down the benchmark on the OCI platform. Then it was released for the business users to do a UAT on the system to make sure they see the similar kind of results what they were having on the on-prem environment side. And then finally the production cutover, which was done, and we moved to hypercare support. Because of this integration slash APIs and general connectivity have substantially increased, clients are increasingly using best of breed solutions as they modernize their platform. The architecture which Essilor followed this trend. At the same time, the team needed to have appropriate technical and engineering capabilities to handle the various issues which arose.
So let me talk few of the solution highlights, what we have taken care before Jade was on board to implement the lift and shift migration effort here. So when it comes to the solutioning, first and foremost, the dedicated infrastructure running on the high-end performance, high-end configuration is the most important. So Oracle Cloud infrastructure is very good at bare metal, Exadata, and Excellentic machines to support and run on the huge volumes or the huge processing needed where and when needed. So we got the right infrastructure. And second thing is how best to migrate all the environments from the lower to the higher environments. So for Hyperion, we have three environments, two non-production and one production environments. So what we had done was the approach that we took was take the production environment as a base. So you might be surprised like why you didn't start with the development environment, which is the lower environment, and then go on to the higher environments. We took the other route. There are reasons behind, because not all the processes were active on a non-production instance. So we took the production route to understand what the current processes are and how the impact will be. That is what Sriram's team helped here in doing the due diligence and documenting the processes needed. As he said, from technology perspective, we do not have any design flow diagrams. That is what Sriram's team helped here to put together. And then later on, they came up with the test plans needed to execute the data processes, starting from the integrations like pulling the data from various source systems. as I said, we have Oracle EBS, which is a transactional system, and as well as the BI, OBI system, where Hyperion pulls the data. So we do not want to miss the data integration touch points. You might be surprised, like we are still old-fashioned, pulling the data from the database and loading into the Hyperion cubes using the ODI technologies and all. If you look at the Oracle cloud, everything is flat file based, but as I said, due to the volume of the data, we got to connect to the database directly. So we should not end up with any performance issues while pulling the data. So that is what Sriram's team helped here to ensure the performance is optimal, both on the data pull as well as on the reporting side. So when it comes to the reporting side, there were about 2,000 reports, I believe, Sriram.
That's good.
And we cannot execute all of these reports and do the performance testing, right? So we partnered with our business users. We understood the critical reports from their standpoint. As you know, for the financial close, the business team is very much needed to do the month-end close activity either on day 2 or day 3. So we have hard timelines to close. So we need to have the reports available and the data available by 8 a.m. in the morning. So we got the reports outlisted on the test plans, on the test executions were successfully executed by the Jade team.
So particularly for Hyperion migration, the strategy went beyond simple lift and shift. Before lifting and shifting, we performed analysis, which Babu basically talked about it, and did benchmarking, which reduced the overall scope of the project by almost like 30 to 40%.
So when it comes to the benefits, so being on the Oracle Cloud OCI infrastructure, the applications will be running on delivering the high performance, flexibility, and scalability needed. Meaning, like on the cloud infrastructure, the architecture is elastic. If you take either the database compute nodes or the bare metal or the Hyperion cube based, so everything is elastic. You do not need to worry about when my configuration is going to end, or am I reaching the peak usage. So you do not need to worry about it. Everything is automatically adjusted. So that is what the benefit which we have seen here at EssilorLuxxotica. So with the cloud solutions, you do not need to compromise for anything on the infrastructure. Everything is pre-built for you. It's readily available. Just you got to focus on your solutioning and the application, but not the infrastructure. So with this, you can business can focus more on the growth rather than focusing on how to maintain the infrastructure or what would be the cost associated to that. So if you look at our situation itself, earlier we were paying OPEX operating expenses as well. So with moving on to the cloud, we reduced a lot of operating expenses, and as well as it saved us on the CapEx expense as well.
Similar outcomes were attained by some of our other clients during platform migration activities. Beyond the advantage of being simple to move, simpler to maintain, and more flexible to grow, operating Hyperion on Oracle Cloud infrastructure is more affordable than running it locally or in another cloud. Workloads like Hyperion were intended to be supported by Oracle Cloud infrastructure. So, Payal, this is the time for the second poll. I think we can go for.
Sure, Shriram. So I'm launching our second poll now. What is the time frame are you looking to migrate? And whatever is the applicable option for you, please fill it in here. We'll keep the poll open for next 30 seconds. I will request all the attendees to please take the poll and enter your applicable options, please. The poll will be closing in next few seconds. Please enter your applicable result. Thank you. We'll be closing the poll now and I'm launching the results.
So this was again expected, what I see. Generally, this kind of migrations happens between 1 to 3 months, and I will let Babu to comment out more as we have performed a similar kind of activity at Essilor. So Babu.
Yeah, Sriram. Yeah, these poll results looking good. As I said earlier, we were thinking about moving on to the cloud 2 years behind, but nothing is late. 1 to 2 months is a really good poll result here. The sooner the better. That way you can take the advantages of the cost savings with respect to the infrastructure, and as well as you will see the benefits of the cloud application.
Sure. Thank you, Babu and Sriram, for your inputs. I'll be hiding the poll results now and we'll continue with the presentation.
So these are some of the customers which Jade has. I have just tried to organize the customers by different industry. So you can see first is more on kind of manufacturing industry, where different device manufacturing customers that we have. Then we have categorized the customers by semicon industry, software, social media, and publishing. So these are just a small list of customers from the big pool what we have, and you can see some big names over here. Payal, you want to go to the next one?
Sure.
And this is more on kind of the Oracle specific customers, I would say, what we have, where either we have done some kind of assessment, implemented platform as a service PaaS implementations, EPM implementations, BI, ERP, cloud, HCM, as well as managed services. So these are again our customer care specifically focusing on Oracle platform. So how do we can help? There are 3 different ways we can engage with you to help out this cloud roadmap journey, which you have got. So either we can do a 2-day free rapid assessment where we look at your on-premise system and then recommend you how you can set up the migration roadmap to the OCI or to any other cloud environment. Option 2B is more on kind of we do 1 to 2 weeks comparative study of your environment and then come up with all the different requirements which you need to take in consideration when you're kind of moving to OCI or cloud environment. As well as the last one is more on kind of a rapid discovery and design, more on kind of a POC, where we will show as we move your application to the OCI platform, what are the things that you need to do, as well as for net new customers who are not on-prem but wanted to go directly on OCI. We can basically show how the OCI platform will have the required results which they are looking for.
Okay, so we have reached the last pedestal. You can please put your questions in the question box and we'll take them one by one. I already see some of the questions have been entered by some people, Shriram. So the first question is, our company has 700 plus users. Do you think compared to an on-premise Hyperion application, cloud will serve us better for these many users?
Yes, definitely it will do. The thing is, right now the 700 users you have, as we mentioned earlier, the performance is same or it's more improved on the OCI side. So all the 700 users can be easily migrated to the OCI platform where they can access the environment and have the similar result. I will let Babu to comment on it because he has seen that himself on the SLR.
Yeah, that's right, Sriram. As I said earlier, we have about 250 users and there is no performance impact so far. So cloud will definitely support more than 500 or about like 1,000 users and concurrent users would be around like 700 also. So there shouldn't be any performance issues.
Okay, great. So the next question is for you, Babu. Are there any instance outages you have experienced on OCI, and have you seen any kind of performance challenges on OCI at all for Hyperion?
No, not that I'm aware of. We have been on the OCI infrastructure for about 11 months. I have not seen any single outage on the Hyperion, and the same goes on to the ERP and the BI applications also. Earlier, if you take on-prem applications, every month or every quarter, we used to have some downtimes, outages, I would call it as, but I haven't seen any so far after the migration to OCI.
Okay, great. Wow, that's pretty impressive. The next question is for Sriram. We mask our workspace URL. Can do the same on the OCI platform also?
Yes, so this question basically goes back to your security and connectivity of OCI platform. So as your OCI platform can be configured to be in your subnet as well as in your network. So that way, when the users are basically connecting to the Hyperion environment, either through a URL or through Smart View areas, then they can have connected to the VPN or can be in your network to connect to the application. You can actually kind of reroute the entire URL, mask it out with your internal URL which you are currently using. So that way the users will not even feel the impact when they move from on-premise environment to the cloud environment. And as it is going to be in your network only, then nobody from outside can access that system out also. So that way it will be much more secure compared to other environments.
Yeah, that is what we have done as well at Essilor, Sriram. Our infrastructure, network infrastructure is going through a dedicated pipeline here onto the cloud. And business, they do not see the cloud URL, rather they see the Essilor specific, I mean the client specific URL.
That's interesting. The last question I see here on the list is, we have non-Oracle sources which feeds data to Hyperion application. How this will work on the OCI?
So I can take that up, Payal. So basically, see, in your current non-prem environment, you might have some kind of ETL tool sitting in between, right? So either it's a FDME, with your financial data quality management, or ODI, or some kind of SQL data warehouse, or OCI, what we call it as Oracle Cloud Integrator. So any kind of ETL tool you might be utilizing in between, which basically connects to directly either to your non-Oracle sources or through some kind of data staging where you push the data into a data warehouse and then you are kind of pulling that out. So that same setup can be done on the OCI side also, because that same process what you have can be migrated to the cloud environment, as the servers based on the subnets and the network can be brought into your network. So then they can have a free connectivity between the non-Oracle sources, and you can basically perform the same activities which you were doing on the on-prem to the cloud. And I think, Babu, we were doing similar kind of function at Essilor also. So apart from pulling the from OBI and EBS, we were pulling some details to data warehouse also, which were kind of coming from other non-Oracle sources, I think.
That's true, Sriram. If you look at the HR applications like employee headcount, one of the reporting application that is existed on the Hyperion side. So all the employee data should come out of from HRS IRS system. So exactly, you're right. We pull the data from the external systems other than Oracle.
Thank you, Babu and Sriram, for all your insights. I'm sure this was very helpful to the attendees. So we have come to the end of this webinar. Thank you to the panelists and the attendees for taking out time and going through the journey of EssilorLuxxotica, how they did it. I'm sure the other companies can benefit from these services and are ready to move to OCI or Oracle EPM. We have kept a handout. The case study of EssilorLuxxotica is there, how they took Jade services and went to this migration journey. In case you have any questions or you want to have the queries regarding how you can engage with us, please write to us on info@jadeglobal.com, or you can just put your name in the chat and we can reach out to you. Thank you and have a great day ahead.
Thanks, Payal. Thanks, Babu.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. And I'll be ending this webinar now.